Profit, it is the amount left from the revenue after all costs has been deducted. Profit is a gain from business ventures from certain investment. It is the excess from return over expenditure in the transactions. Loss. It is the what occurred when the costs and expenses exceed revenue or sales. Loss is the investment that do not produce the expected benefit. Excess of production cost of a product over the total revenue from a business transactions. Profit and loss. Profit and loss statement, also known as the income statement or financial statement, determines the status business investment. Positive income indicates the company is profitable. Negative income indicates the investor's loss of money. Zero income indicates no loss and no profit. Definition of terms. Gross profit is the amount of money you are left with after deducting the cost of goods sold from revenue. Net profit reflected the amount of money you are left with after having paid all your allowable business expenses overheads. Revenue is the total amount of income generated by the sales of goods or services related to the company's primary operations. Overhead. Overhead refers to the cost of running a business that are not related to producing a good or services. So now, here the example number 1. If the cost of a furniture set is 19,400 and sold for 25,500, if the store sold for set of furniture, determine if it is a profit or loss. So our selling price, this problem we have 25,500 multiply by 4 because sold for furniture minus 19,400 multiply by 4 again by 4. Let's multiply 25,500. Use the calculator. And ang answer is 1,102,000 and 19,400 multiply by 4 equal is 77,600. And let's subtract those. The answer is 24,400. Sabi nga natin kanina is positive is profit. So answer is profit. Here the answer. Next is number 2. If the cost of a cell phone is 28,000 pesos and sold for 37,500 pesos, if the store sold 5 cell phone, determine if it is a profit or loss. Using the formula, selling cost is 37,500 multiplied by 4 minus 28,000 multiplied by 5. So, 37,500 multiplied by 5. So, using the calculator, answer is 187,500 minus 28,000 multiplied by 5, answer is 1,040. And now, let's subtract 187,500 minus 140,000. our answer is, using calculator again, answer is 47,500 is positive. Sabi ko nga kanina, is pag positive is profit. So, answer is next is number 3. If the cost of a candy is 200 and sold for 180, if the seller sold 5 ballot of candies, determine if it is a profit or loss. Using the formula again, selling price is 180 multiplied by 5 because the seller sold 5 candies minus 200 multiplied by 5. Let's calculate 900 minus 200 times 5. So, calculate again. Equal is 1,000. So subtract 900, subtract 1,000. So, answer is negative 100. So you can, I see here, kanina sabi natin, kapag negative it is the loss final answer. So, answer is loss. Here the final answer. Next is formulas. Gross profit, sales revenue minus product cost. Gross profit margin, gross profit over sales revenue times 100. Net profit revenue minus all expenses, product cost plus overhead. Net profit margin, net profit over sales revenue times 100. So, here the example number 1. So, ang hinahanap natin dito is gross profit and gross profit margin. So, now, let's solve the gross profit. And now, the first example is, if the cost of pair of slippers is 4,500 pesos and sold at 8,000 pesos, find the gross profit. So, we need to identify first for this problem is sales revenue. 8,000 subtract cost of 4,500. Using the calculate, we can have the final answer. So the final answer is 3,500. Here the final answer. The next is the gross profit margin. If the cost of a pair of slippers is 4,500 and sold at 8,000 pesos, find the gross profit margin. So dito, hanapin natin ang percentage using the formula, a gross profit margin here. So, gross profit is 3,500 over 8,000 sales revenue. Divide using the calculator and divide 0.375 times 100. Now get the percentage. So, our final answer will be 43.75%. Always round your answer. So, this is now the gross profit margin. So now, next proceed the problem 2. Let's find first is the gross profit. If the cost of a t-shirt is $350 and sold for $480, find the gross profit. So our formula, again, sales revenue minus product cost. So sales revenue is $480 minus $350. So, 480 minus 350, subtract using the calculator. So, answer is 130. Our answer will be 130. This is a gross profit. After solve the gross profit, next is the gross profit margin. If the cost of a t-shirt is $350 and sold for $480, find the gross profit margin. Next, solve gross profit margin using same problem. Gross profit is 133 over 450. Divide using the calculate. So 0.2708 and then multiply by 100. So our answer will be 7.08%. This is the gross profit margin. Now we have here the third example. If the cost of notebook is the 105 and sold at 150.75, find the gross profit. If the cost of notebook is 150 and the sold at 150.75, find the gross profit margin. So the gross profit, the third, if the cost of notebook is 105 and sold at 150.75, find the gross profit. So, sales revenue minus product cost. So, sales revenue is 150.75 minus 105.50. Yung 105.50, ito yung product cost. So, the final answer is 45.25. This is the the gross profit. And now, the next is the gross profit margin. If the cost of notebook is 150.50 and the sold at 150.75, find the gross profit margin. So, using the same problem. Ngayon, hanap na natin ang gross profit. Gross profit margin naman ang ating kukunin. So, 45.25 over sales revenue. 150.75. Divide using the calculator. So, calculator is 0.3001. Multiply by 100. So, the answer is 0.01%. Here the answer, the gross profit margin. We are now done the gross profit and the gross profit margin. Next, move on to the net profit and the net profit margin. And the next, solve for the net profit and the net profit margin. Now, here the problem for net profit. A car company has 450,000 in revenue with a cost of goods sold 75,000 if the 80,000 is the for salaries, 50,000 to operating expenses, and 8,000 for taxes. Find the net profit. Using our formula, our revenue is 4,050 minus all expenses. All expenses is 75,000 minus overheads is 80,000 minus 50,000 salaries minus 8,000. So subtract them. His answer is 237,000. Now, this is our profit, this problem. Now, next proceed the profit margin. A car company has 450,000 in revenue with a cost of goods sold at 75,000 if 80,000 is for salaries, 50,000 to operating expenses, and 8,000 for taxes. Find the profit margin. Using the same problem, formula here net profit. We have 237,000 over 450,000 subtract, so 0.5266 multiply by 100. 237,000 over 450,000, which is, the answer is 5 to 0.67%. The our answer is profit margin we have here. Now, next proceed the our problem number 2. Net profit and net profit margin. First, let's solve. We have net profit. Avar has 350,000 revenue with a cost of goods sold 45,000. If 70,000 is allocated for salary, 55,000 for operating expenses, 30,000 for rent, and 5,000 for taxes. Find the net profit. Revenue for this problem is 350,000 subtract 45,000 pesos minus 70,000 pesos and minus 55,000 pesos minus 30,000 pesos and minus 5,000 pesos. Subtract all of them. So our answer is 145,000 pesos. Sa 145 pesos, our net profit problem. Now, next proceed on net profit margin. Avar has 35,000 revenue with a cost of goods sold for 45,000. If a 70,000 is allocated for salaries, 55,000 for operating expenses, 30,000 for rent, and 5,000 for taxes. Find the net profit margin. So for our profit here, we have 14,000 over sales revenue is 35,000 divide answer is 0.4142. We need to multiply by 100 to get a percentage. So our final answer here is 41.43%. Here, a profit margin. Next, proceed to the third problem, net profit and net profit margin. The first problem is net profit. A milk tea shop has 160,000 revenue with a cost of goods sold 45,000. If a 30,000 is for the salaries, 20,000 to operating expenses, 15,000 for the rent, and 5,000 for taxes. Find the profit. So for our revenue here, 160,000 subtract 45,000 minus overhead 30,000 minus again 20,000 and 15,000 and the last is 5,000. So subtract for all of them equal is 45,000. Here the for net profit answer. Next, proceed for the last problem, net profit margin. A multi shop has 160,000 revenue with a cost of goods sold for 45,000 if 30,000 is for the salaries, 20,000 to operating expenses, 15,000 for the rent, and 5,000 for taxes. Find the net profit margin. Same problem again for our net profit. Here is net profit is 45,000 over sales revenue is 160,000. 45,000 divide 160,000 equals 0.2812. Multiply again to 100 to get a percentage. So equal is 28.13%. Here our answer for the net profit margin. So this is it for our discussion. But before we end this video, I have an activity. For these instructions, ready your clean papers and your pen. This activity has 3 parts: true or false, matching type, multiple choice. Again, my name is Peta from ABM 11Y1 Lab. The only way to learn mathematics is to do mathematics. The Paul R. Halos.